Once Upon a Time in the West is a timeless classic that defined the Western genre, but behind its iconic scenes lies a tale of tragedy. In this video, we reveal the heartbreaking stories of 19 cast members who played unforgettable roles in the film, only to face untimely and tragic ends. From mysterious accidents to battles with illness, these stars lived lives that were as dramatic and poignant as the roles they portrayed. Discover the untold fates of the actors who brought this epic story to life, and explore how their legacies were forever marked by sorrow and loss. Gabrielle Ferzetti as Morton. Gabrielle Ferzetti delivered a memorable performance as Morton, the ambitious and deeply flawed railroad baron in Once Upon a Time in the West. Morton was a man driven by an insatiable desire to complete his railroad to the Pacific Ocean, a symbol of his quest for immortality in the face of his own mortality. His character was a study in contrasts, embodying both the ruthless ambition of a man who would stop at nothing to achieve his goals, and the vulnerability of someone who knew his time was running out. Morton's physical frailty, caused by a debilitating illness, added a layer of poignancy to his character. He was constantly at war with his own body, which was failing him even as his mind remained sharp and focused on his dreams of power and legacy. In reality, Gabrielle Ferzetti, much like his character, lived a long life but faced his own battles with health in his later years. Despite his advancing age, Ferzetti continued to work well into his 80s, driven by the same passion for his craft that had defined his career. However, as time went on, his health began to decline, and he gradually withdrew from the public eye. Ferzetti passed away on December 2, 2015, at the age of 90, leaving behind a rich legacy in European cinema. His portrayal of Morton remains one of his most celebrated roles, a testament to his ability to bring complex, multifaceted characters to life. Henry Fonda as Frank. Henry Fonda's role as Frank in Once Upon a Time in the West was a striking departure from his usual screen persona, marking one of the most chilling performances of his illustrious career. Known for playing the everyman hero in countless films, Fonda took on the role of Frank, a cold-blooded, ruthless assassin, with a terrifyingly calm demeanor that sent shivers down the spine of audiences. Frank was a man who operated without conscience, driven by a desire for power and control. His piercing blue eyes, which once symbolized the integrity of his more heroic characters, now reflected an icy, unforgiving resolve. Fonda's portrayal was so powerful that it left a lasting impression on the genre, defining the archetype of the Western villain for years to come. As Fonda aged, the actor who had embodied so much vitality and moral clarity on screen began to face his own mortality. Throughout the 1970s, Fonda's health became a concern, particularly after he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Though he successfully underwent treatment, the physical toll was significant. Despite this, Fonda continued to work, driven by the same dedication that had defined his career. However, his heart began to weaken, a condition exacerbated by the stress of his work and the pressures of aging. By the early 1980s, Fonda's heart disease had progressed, leading to his eventual death on August 12, 1982, at the age of 77. His passing marked the end of an era in Hollywood, but his legacy as one of the greatest actors of his time remains indelible. Jack Elam as Snakey. Jack Elam's portrayal of Snakey in Once Upon a Time in the West was brief but unforgettable. Known for his wild, bulging eyes and sinister grin, Elam was the perfect choice to play the shifty, menacing Snakey. His character embodied the unpredictable danger that loomed over the film's opening scenes, setting the tone for the violence and betrayal that would follow. Snakey was a man who thrived in the shadows, his sly demeanor and unsettling appearance making him a figure to be feared. Elam's performance added a palpable tension to the film, proving once again his ability to steal the scene with just a few minutes of screen time. In his later years, Jack Elam's health began to decline, though he continued to work in film and television, bringing his distinctive presence to every role he took on. His career spanned over 4 decades, and he became one of Hollywood's most recognizable character actors, often cast as villains due to his striking features. As he aged, Elam faced various health issues, though the specifics of his illness remain largely private. He passed away on October 20, 2003, at the age of 82. Elam left behind a legacy as one of the most memorable character actors in Westerns, with his role as Snakey serving as a testament to his enduring appeal. Jason Robards as Manuel Cheyenne Gutierrez. Jason Robards brought a rich complexity to the character of Manuel Cheyenne Gutierrez, a scruffy yet oddly charismatic bandit who defied the typical conventions of Western outlaws. Cheyenne was a man of contradictions, a feared and notorious criminal, yet one who exhibited moments of surprising tenderness and loyalty. Robards infused Cheyenne with a rugged charm, making him a character who was both intimidating and endearing. His interactions with others in the film revealed layers of depth, from his sharp wit to his underlying sense of justice, even if that justice was dispensed in unconventional ways. Cheyenne was a character who lived by his own code, one that sometimes aligned with the law but more often stood in stark contrast to it and his personal life. Jason Robards was no stranger to adversity. After surviving a horrific car accident in 1972 that left him with severe injuries, Robards continued to pursue his passion for acting with a renewed sense of purpose. However, the years that followed brought new challenges, as his health began to decline. Robards was a heavy smoker for much of his life, a habit that eventually led to the development of lung cancer. Despite undergoing surgery to remove part of his lung, the cancer spread, and Robards faced his illness with the same resilience he brought to his roles. On December 26, 2000, at the age of 78, Robards passed away, leaving behind a legacy of performances that were as complex and multifaceted as the man himself. Charles Bronson as Harmonica. Charles Bronson's portrayal of Harmonica in Once Upon a Time in the West was nothing short of iconic. Harmonica was a character shrouded in mystery, a man of few words who carried the weight of a tragic past on his shoulders. His every action was motivated by a burning desire for vengeance, yet Bronson's performance was marked by a quiet intensity that spoke volumes. Harmonica's stoicism, combined with his relentless pursuit of justice, made him one of the most compelling figures in the film. Bronson's rugged features and piercing gaze added to the character's aura of invincibility, making Harmonica a force to be reckoned with in the harsh, unforgiving landscape of the Old West. His final showdown with Frank was not just a clash of guns but a collision of two powerful forces, each driven by their own code of retribution. Off-screen, Charles Bronson was known for his reserved and private nature, traits that only added to his enigmatic persona. As he aged, however, Bronson's health began to deteriorate. He was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, a condition that slowly robbed him of his memory and mental sharpness. The man who had once been the embodiment of strength and resilience on screen now faced one of the most heartbreaking battles of his life. As the disease progressed, Bronson's condition worsened, leading to complications that ultimately resulted in pneumonia. On August 30, 2003, at the age of 81, Charles Bronson passed away, leaving behind a legacy as one of the most enduring action stars in Hollywood history. His death marked the end of an era, but his performances, especially as Harmonica, continue to captivate and inspire generations of film lovers. Woody Strode as Stony. Woody Strode brought a powerful presence to the role of Stony, a member of Frank's gang in Once Upon a Time in the West. Stony was a man of few words, but his silence spoke volumes. With his stoic demeanor and imposing physicality, Stony was the epitome of the strong, silent type. His character exuded a quiet intensity, a sense that beneath his calm exterior lay a man capable of great violence, but also perhaps a deeper, unspoken code of honor. Strode's background as a professional athlete before turning to acting lent a physical authenticity to his performance, making Stony a formidable figure in the film's world of hardened men and brutal landscapes. Off-screen, Woody Strode was as resilient as the characters he portrayed. A trailblazer in both sports and film, Strode broke barriers throughout his career, but his later years were marked by health struggles. A heavy smoker for much of his life, Strode was diagnosed with lung cancer, a disease that would eventually claim his life. Even as his health deteriorated, Strode maintained his dignity and strength, facing his illness with the same quiet determination that had defined his life. On December 31, 1994, at the age of 80, Woody Strode passed away. His legacy as an actor and athlete remains, with his role as Stony standing out as one of his most memorable performances, a testament to his ability to convey depth and power with few words. Paulo Stoppa as Sam. Paulo Stoppa's portrayal of Sam, the jovial yet somewhat cynical driver in Once Upon a Time in the West, brought a much-needed touch of humor and levity to the film. Sam was a character who saw the world for what it was, a harsh and often unforgiving place, but managed to navigate it with a sense of practicality and wit. Stoppa infused Sam with a warmth and down-to-earth charm that made him an endearing figure amidst the film's intense drama and violence. Sam's observations often provided a grounded perspective on the events unfolding around him, serving as a reminder of the everyday human experiences that existed even in the most extraordinary of circumstances. In his later years, Paulo Stoppa faced significant health challenges. A seasoned actor with a career spanning decades, Stoppa had always been known for his energy and vitality. However, as he aged, he was diagnosed with leukemia, a battle that would ultimately take his life. Despite his illness, Stoppa continued to work, determined to remain active in his beloved craft until the very end. On May 1, 1988, at the age of 81, Stoppa passed away, leaving behind a legacy as one of Italy's most beloved and respected actors. His performance as Sam remains a highlight of his career, remembered for its blend of humor, insight, and humanity. Frank Wolff as Brett McBain. Frank Wolff's portrayal of Brett McBain in Once Upon a Time in the West was brief but crucial to the film's plot. McBain, a landowner with dreams of prosperity, becomes a tragic figure whose murder ignites the central conflict of the story. Wolff brought a sense of dignity and resolve to the character, making McBain's fate all the more poignant. His performance, though limited in screen time, was essential in establishing the stakes of the film's narrative. McBain's death symbolizes the brutal reality of the West, where dreams are often shattered by violence and greed. Tragically, Frank Wolff's life was cut short under heartbreaking circumstances. Despite his growing success in the film industry, Wolff struggled with personal demons. On December 12, 1971, at the age of 43, Wolff took his own life, leaving behind a promising career and a legacy of powerful performances. His untimely death shocked the film community, and he is remembered not only for his talent but also for the tragedy that ended his life too soon. Keenan Wynn as the sheriff. Keenan Wynn brought gravitas and authority to the role of the sheriff in Once Upon a Time in the West. His character represented the law in a world teetering on the brink of chaos, a figure who stood for justice amidst the ruthless power struggles that defined the film. Wynn's expressive face, capable of conveying a wide range of emotions from stern authority to weary resignation, made the sheriff a memorable and grounding presence in the story. His commanding presence on screen ensured that even in a film filled with larger-than-life characters, the sheriff left a lasting impression. Throughout his career, Keenan Wynn was known for his versatility, playing everything from comedic roles to serious, dramatic parts. However, his later years were marked by a battle with pancreatic cancer, a particularly aggressive and painful form of the disease. Despite his illness, Wynn continued to work as long as he could, maintaining the work ethic that had defined his long and varied career. He passed away on October 14, 1986, at the age of 70, leaving behind a legacy as one of Hollywood's most reliable and talented character actors. His role as the sheriff in Once Upon a Time in the West remains one of his standout performances. John Frederick as Jim. John Frederick portrayed Jim in Once Upon a Time in the West, a character who, though not central to the plot, contributed to the film's rich tapestry of life in the Old West. Jim was a man shaped by his environment, embodying the rugged individualism and quiet resilience that defines so many characters in the film. Frederick's performance was understated, allowing the character to blend into the background of the larger narrative while still leaving an impression of a man who had lived a hard, unforgiving life. John Frederick's career was marked by numerous roles in westerns and other action-oriented films, where he often played strong, silent types who let their actions speak for them. In his later years, Frederick, like many of his contemporaries, faced the challenges of aging and declining health. Despite these challenges, he continued to work, driven by a deep love for acting that had sustained him throughout his career. Frederick passed away on November 11, 2012, at the age of 96, leaving behind a body of work that, while often unsung, contributed to the richness of American cinema, particularly in the Western genre. Lionel Stander as the Barman. Lionel Stander's portrayal of the barman in Once Upon a Time in the West added a layer of rough humor and authenticity to the film's setting. With his distinctive raspy voice and tough guy demeanor, Stander's barman was a character who had seen it all and wasn't easily impressed. He provided a gritty local flavor to the story, representing the everyday people who lived on the fringes of the epic struggles between powerful men. Stander's performance was a perfect blend of gruffness and wit, making the barman a standout character despite his relatively minor role. Stander's career was as colorful as the characters he portrayed. A veteran actor with a career spanning several decades, he was known for his deep, gravelly voice and strong screen presence. However, his later years were overshadowed by health issues, particularly lung cancer, a disease likely exacerbated by years of smoking. Despite his declining health, Stander continued to work, his passion for acting undiminished. He passed away on November 30, 1994, at the age of 86, leaving behind a legacy as one of Hollywood's most distinctive and enduring character actors. His role as the barman in Once Upon a Time in the West is a testament to his ability to bring even the smallest roles to life with memorable flair. Robert Hosein as the member of Frank's gang. Robert Hosein's appearance as a member of Frank's gang in Once Upon a Time in the West was brief but impactful. Known for his piercing eyes and brooding presence, Hosein's character was one of the many faceless enforcers who carried out Frank's dirty work. Though his role was minor, Hosein's portrayal added to the sense of danger and unpredictability that surrounded Frank's gang. His character, much like the others in the gang, represented the ruthless and lawless nature of the Old West, where violence was a way of life. Robert Hosein was a prominent figure in French cinema, both as an actor and a director, known for his intense performances and strong screen presence. Despite his relatively small role in Once Upon a Time in the West, his contribution to the film added to the atmosphere of tension and danger. Hosein enjoyed a long and distinguished career, remaining active in the industry well into his later years. He passed away on December 31, 2020, at the age of 93, after a life dedicated to the arts. His brief role in Once Upon a Time in the West is a testament to his ability to leave a lasting impression, even in the smallest of roles. Frank Brana as the member of Frank's gang, Smoking Pipe. Frank Brana brought a gritty realism to his role as the pipe-smoking member of Frank's gang in Once Upon a Time in the West. Although a relatively minor character, Brana's portrayal added depth to the film's depiction of the ruthless outlaws who terrorized the West. With his weathered face and intense gaze, Brana's character embodied the hardened, no-nonsense attitude of a man who had long lived on the wrong side of the law. The simple act of smoking a pipe became a defining feature, emphasizing his calm demeanor in the face of violence. A man who had become numb to the brutality around him off-screen, Frank Brana enjoyed a prolific career in European cinema, particularly in spaghetti westerns, where he often portrayed rugged, tough-as-nails characters. As he aged, Brana experienced the inevitable decline in health that comes with a life lived at full tilt. Yet, he remained active in the film industry until his final years, demonstrating the same resilience and toughness that marked his on-screen roles. Frank Brana passed away on February 13, 2012, at the age of 77, leaving behind a legacy as one of the genre's quintessential character actors. His role in Once Upon a Time in the West is a small but memorable piece of his storied career. Michael Harvey as Frank's lieutenant. Michael Harvey's role as Frank's lieutenant in Once Upon a Time in the West was that of a loyal enforcer, a man who carried out orders with ruthless efficiency. As Frank's right-hand man, his character was instrumental in executing the brutal acts that defined the gang's reign of terror. Harvey brought a cold, calculating presence to the role, making the lieutenant a figure of quiet menace, a man whose loyalty to Frank was matched only by his capacity for violence. His character's lack of moral ambiguity made him a perfect fit in the dark, unforgiving world of the film. Throughout his career, Michael Harvey often played supporting roles, many of them in westerns and crime dramas where his tough guy persona found a natural home. As he aged, Harvey, like many actors of his generation, struggled with the physical ailments that come with a life spent in the demanding world of film and television. Despite these challenges, he continued to take on roles, maintaining the same level of intensity and dedication that had marked his earlier work. Michael Harvey passed away on October 15, 1995, at the age of 78, leaving behind a legacy as a dependable and versatile character actor.
Aldo Sombrel à Cheyenne's lieutenant.
Aldo Sombrel took on the role of Cheyenne's lieutenant in Once Upon a Time in the West, portraying a character who was as fierce as he was loyal. Sombrel's character was a stalwart member of Cheyenne's gang, known for his unwavering support and tough exterior. His portrayal brought a sense of camaraderie and brotherhood to the gang, contrasting with the more sinister and self-serving nature of Frank's crew. Sombrel's character was a man who valued loyalty above all, a trait that made him both respected and feared by those around him. Aldo Sombrel was a prolific actor in the spaghetti western genre, often cast in roles that required a strong physical presence and an air of danger. Throughout his career, Sombrel became known for his intense performances and his ability to convey complex emotions with minimal dialogue. As he grew older, Sombrel continued to work in the film industry, though his health began to decline, leading to a cerebral infarction that ultimately took his life. He passed away on July 10, 2010, at the age of 79, leaving behind a body of work that cemented his status as one of the great character actors of his time. Bonito Stefanelli as Frank's lieutenant. Bonito Stefanelli portrayed one of Frank's lieutenants in Once Upon a Time in the West, a character who was as ruthless and efficient as his leader. Stefanelli's character was a cold and calculating enforcer, carrying out Frank's orders with a precision that made him a key figure in the gang's operations. His portrayal added to the sense of danger that surrounded Frank's gang, showing a man who was completely devoid of moral qualms when it came to doing his job. Stefanelli's character was a study in the banality of evil, a man who followed orders without question or hesitation. Bonito Stefanelli was a well-known figure in the world of spaghetti westerns, often cast in roles that required a tough, no-nonsense demeanor. Throughout his career, Stefanelli appeared in numerous films, frequently portraying characters who, like Frank's lieutenant, were defined by their loyalty to their superiors and their willingness to do whatever was necessary to achieve their goals. As he aged, Stefanelli continued to work in the industry, though his health began to decline, leading to his passing on December 18, 1999, at the age of 71. His contribution to Once Upon a Time in the West is one of many that showcases his talent for bringing intensity and realism to the screen. Antonio Molino Rojo as a member of Frank's gang. Antonio Molino Rojo brought a silent menace to his role as one of Frank's gang members in Once Upon a Time in the West. With his stern expression and piercing eyes, Rojo's character exuded an air of intimidation, embodying the lawlessness and brutality that defined Frank's gang. Despite not having many lines, Rojo's presence was felt in every scene, contributing to the overall atmosphere of danger that permeated the film. His character was a man of few words, letting his actions speak for him, a trait that made him all the more fearsome off-screen. Antonio Molino Rojo was a veteran of spaghetti westerns, often cast in similar roles that played to his strengths as a character actor. Throughout his career, he was known for his ability to convey a sense of foreboding with just a glance, making him a go-to actor for roles requiring a strong, silent type. As he aged, Rojo continued to work in the film industry, though he faced the inevitable decline in health that comes with advancing years. He passed away on November 2, 2011, at the age of 85, leaving behind a legacy as one of the genre's most memorable supporting actors. Ricardo Palos as Morton's train conductor. Ricardo Palos portrayed Morton's train conductor in Once Upon a Time in the West, a character who served as a crucial facilitator of Morton's ambitions. The train conductor was a figure of loyalty and practicality, ensuring that Morton's plans were carried out with precision. Palos brought a sense of steady reliability to the role, his character's calm demeanor contrasting with the chaos that unfolded around him. His portrayal added a layer of human complexity to the mechanized world of the railroad, showing the quiet, often overlooked individuals who played their part in the grand schemes of men like Morton. Ricardo Palos was a familiar face in Spanish cinema, known for his versatility and ability to bring depth to even the smallest roles. Throughout his career, Palos appeared in numerous films, often playing characters who, like the train conductor, were integral to the story in subtle but significant ways. In his later years, Palos struggled with health issues, particularly heart problems, but he remained active in the industry until his passing. Ricardo Palos died on February 11, 2015, at the age of 74 due to heart failure, remembered as a dedicated actor who brought authenticity to every role he played.
Conrado San Martin as vecino.
Conrado San Martin played Vecino in Once Upon a Time in the West, a character who brought depth to the film's depiction of community life in the Old West. Vecino was a neighbor, a man who represented the everyday people caught up in the larger forces of change and conflict that swept through their world. San Martin's portrayal was subtle yet impactful, showing a man who, while not directly involved in the central conflict, was nonetheless affected by it. His character added a layer of realism to the film, grounding it in the experiences of ordinary people. Conrado San Martin had a long and illustrious career in Spanish cinema, known for his versatility and his ability to bring authenticity to every role he took on. As one of the elder statesmen of Spanish film, San Martin continued to act well into his later years, his performances marked by a deep understanding of the human condition. Despite his advancing age, he remained active until the end of his life, passing away on April 24, 2019, at the age of 98 due to a heart attack. His role in Once Upon a Time in the West is a testament to his skill as an actor, able to leave a lasting impression even in a small part. What do you think about the deaths of the actors in Once Upon a Time in the West, and who do you miss the most among them? Leave your comments below and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to see the latest videos.